What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Rob's Gaming Table. Today on the table we have another Vault Tour game for KeyForge, Age of Ascension Sealed from Origins Game Fair 2019. This is Day 1B. On the left we have David, on the right we have Raul. If you guys want to see the deck list these players are using, you can check them out in the description below on YouTube. If you want to see other videos from the series, go check them out. They're in a playlist at Rob's Gaming Table on YouTube. Just look for KeyForge at Origins Game Fair 2019. Alright, we have Tesmal there as the starting card on the right side for this. So on the Reap effect, he's able to choose the house his opponent cannot play on his next turn. We have a Quantum Finger Trap played for an Amber. That will allow him to swap two creatures on a battle line. And we got a Titan Librarian on the left flank there. And Pip on the right flank, who will stun enemy creatures that Reap.
I'm going to call this again.
And Raul's playing a Soul Snatcher, so each time a creature is destroyed, his owner will gain one Amber, and a Life Ward down, getting an Amber off that. That has that Omni. You can pop that basically to make his opponent not be able to play creatures on the next turn. And Tesmal's going to Reap, stun himself, and then basically says his opponent cannot play Sanctum next turn.
Then I'll cycle this.
And he just discards a Misery Exploit, choosing not to use it. Or not to play it, since it won't get him any Amber.
I'm going to go Brobnar.
So David's going Brobnar. Gets a little tricky with Brobnar if you have a big dudes, and your opponent's playing a Soul Snatcher, and he's able to just run his dudes into your Brobnar guys. And Brobnars, they want to fight. That's their thing, right? So when they start fighting and destroying creatures on the other side, the opponent will gain Amber off his Soul Snatcher, but it works both ways. But it's just Brobnar guys, they're a little bigger, a little harder to kill. So you got to be careful with the Soul Snatcher being on the board there. So we see a Drummernaut played down, Calfine, a Tremor, stunning Tesmal, who's already stunned, and we see a Gauntlet of Command played there, which allow him to use as an action to ready and fight with a friendly creature. He's going to discard into the fray. So Drummernaut's got that errata text on a play, fight, or reap. He returns another giant creature to your hand. Okay. See Bren the Fanatic play on the other side, giving an Amber there to David.
Steal something? Yeah. I know, it's never that easy. No catch, I promise. No, I'm just being nice. I'll put Knuckles into play.
And we got Knuckles Bolton on the left flank, has Skirmish and Elusive. And we have a Nerve Blast, stealing an Amber. He's going to deal 2. I assume to Pip. Yep, Pip's going to die.
I will play Merkins as well.
So we got Merkins coming in on the right flank. He's going to allow Raul to play the top card of his opponent's deck, which I cannot see right now. I think it looked like a Sanctum card there.
Okay, I guess it just goes into play for me.
And it looks like, yep, Obeyed the Grim. Obeyed the Grim is going to play Capture up to 3, and then he's got that Reap ability. You can discard an Amber off of him.
Never use it. Which means I never get my Amber back. Well, I guess I can.
And it looks like he discards a Dusk Chronicles, which is interesting. He could play Dusk Chronicles and get an Amber at least, and then if your opponent has more Amber than you, draw a card. If you have more Amber than your opponent, archive a card. I'm not sure why he would want to archive a card. It's interesting. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. It helps the channel grow. And slap that like button if you want to help spread the love of these videos on YouTube and help other people find them.
I think I'm going to go Logos here. Play Redacted.
So we got David going Logos, slaps down a Redacted. Nice key cheat artifact there out of Logos. After he names Logos, he can put an Amber from the common pool onto Redacted, and if there's ever 4 or more Amber on it, you can sack it to forge a key at no cost. We see Wild Wormhole played for the Amber. Gets a Golden Aura off the top of the deck, which does nothing for him. Not as good of a hit as Obeyed the Grim that happened on the other side. And we have a Helper Bot coming in, allowing him to play one non-Logos card on this turn.
have to play Relentless Assault.
And he plays a Relentless Assault, which will allow him to ready and fight with 3 different creatures one at a time. This is where it gets tough with Soul Snatcher on the board. Not sure you want to do that, but... So Calfine's going to fight, and he has that before fight. He'll deal 2 damage to the creatures of the neighbor of the target of the creature that Calfine's trying to fight, if that makes any sense. So he does kill Tesmal and Merkins there before the fight, and then Calfine will run into Bren the Fanatic, destroying him, but it only steals 1, so it's good to get Bren the Fanatic off the board there. Oh, David didn't understand where all that extra amber came from. He didn't realize Soul Snatcher was a thing there, I guess. He forgot about it. And Calfine takes 3 damage there, and now Raul is up to, I think, 7 amber now from having all those creatures destroyed. And he's going to choose Drummernaut. So now he knows about the elusive, or the Soul Snatcher, so he might want to use that elusive on Knuckles Bolton there to burn a fight.
Let's fight Knuckles.
And he is going to fight Knuckles with Drummernaut. Elusive, nothing happens. So Drummernaut should return a giant. Yeah, he returns Calfine to hand. Shakes off the damage. And Titan Mechanic's going to fight into Knuckles Bolt and finish him off. Take 3 damage. And that'll gain another Amber off Soul Snatcher for Raul.
That would destroy it. It's only if it's destroyed. Didn't I just lose again? Yeah, went back to your head. Oh, I'm thinking this guy. Yeah, sure. Okay. Don't worry, I barely know what my own cards do. Yeah. And then... Okay. Alright, that's a 5 check. 6 amber.
Alright, so we have our first KeyForge here with Raul, spending 6 amber to forge, 2 remaining.
I have KeyForge. Okay. Nope. I will call Dit House. I will play...
Yeah, it looks like David's forgotten the Titan Mechanic there. Yeah, he's going to do it right now. So at the end of his turn, after he draws with the Titan Mechanic, as long as he's not on the flank, he has to archive a card here. So it looks like he archived a Golden Aura. And now Raul's going to play this here, play Banish, gain an Amber, and return a creature to its opponent's archives. And Ancient Yurk coming into play. He's going to make him discard 3 cards on the play effect.
I have to discard. I'll do these 3.
Looks like so you got there a Pip, a Researcher, and a Gamgee. Are the discards of choice.
And my turn on that.
Raul still not popping that life ward. Holding on to it. I'm curious to see how David deals with Redacted, if he starts naming logos more often to try to get that key cheat going. He names Brobnar, though, takes his archives to hand. And he's going to drop a Brammo. We know he has a Drummernaut in hand, so he'll be able to bounce that guy a couple times. Deals 2 damage to each flank creature on the play. And Obeyed the Grim blocks 1 with 1 armor. And there's that Drummernaut, returning Brammo back to hand. Yeah, with the Gauntlet of Commando there, you should be able to do Brammo 3 times if he wants. And Brammo doing the slap again. So Obey the Grim should take 2 this time since his armor has been worn off. And Ancient Yurk's now at 4 damage out of 6.
I don't know about that, but...
See Calfine come into play.
And then... Let's see, he's going Okay, so let's...
Looks like David's debating on his target for the Gauntlet of Command. I'd probably just go Calfine maybe, and just he would do the 2 damage to Yurk, kill him and fight into Obey the Grim, but he's going to do the Drummernaut into Obey the Grim, returning Brammo back to hand, and then playing Brammo again to finish off Ancient Yurk, most likely. Yep, he's going to do it here, deal 2 damage to the flank creatures. And Drummernaut should take 4 damage, I believe, off Obey the Grim.
how many damage did I take from that fight? That was 4, right? Yeah. It was this guy that I fought. Yeah, you fought your own dude. yeah. Friendly fire. Yeah.
And Raul just racking in the Amber there off of the Soul Snatcher.
I'm gonna go ahead and call logos.
David continuing to go the fight route here, and I'm not sure that's proper. And now Binate Rupture hits the board. It's going to double both players' Amber. David only at 1, Raul at 5, so that means we're going to be at 2 to 10. And that's disgusting. That Binate Rupture, man. That card drives me nuts. Alright, we got Professor Sutterkin going into play. If he gets to reap next turn, he'll draw him a card. But yeah, Raul check has 10 Amber. David only at 2, still no keys forged. Yeah, I think David should have maybe focused more on the reaping and gaining Amber as quickly as he could. And choosing whichever house could gain him Amber as much, and just ignore the opponent's creatures. So it goes Logos, gets an Amber on Redacted, plays Memory Chip. And Poke's going to deal damage to Professor Sutterkin. But I actually probably would have done that to my own Helper Bot to be able to draw a card and gain an Amber off Soul Snatcher. Throws a Tight Mechanic on the right flank, then followed by Archimedes. And he's going to reap with the Helper Bot and reap with Titan Mechanic. Of course, before the poke, I would have reaped with Helper Bot, of course. Now I think he's debating using the Quantum Finger Trap to swap 2 creatures in his battle line. Sitting at 5 Amber. He's going to swap Drum or not. Looks like with Cowfine. I might have swapped Archimedes in there, but the problem is a Titan Mechanic, I guess. You don't want to leave him on the flank by himself there, making your opponent only pay 5 for his KeyForge at this point. But maybe putting Archimedes by the Drummernaut would have been a cool call. So David does have to do the Titan Mechanic again. He's not on the flank still. At the end of turn, he has to archive a card, which I think he's doing right now. Saw him check his archive there. Sounds like Rules going Shadows. And he's going to steal 1 with Ronnie Wristlocks. He's got another Brent Fanatic in hand, it looks like. And giving David an Amber off that play. And Oubliette to purge Archimedes. That's a pretty good hit. And Raul sitting at 2 keys, 5 Amber. David at no keys, 5 Amber. Has a tall hill to climb here. I think it's a little late for that Redacted play. Keep going Logos, but I mean, he does have 3 Logos bodies in play. Does have the Memory Chip. That would allow him to archive after after naming, I think it's after naming Logos. Let me check here. Yeah, after you choose Logos as your active house, archive a card. And then you could pick up your archives right there. So, I mean, doesn't really hurt you, but helps you get through your deck quicker, of course. Helps you line up big turns. As long as they go in Sanctum, plays his rare out of Sanctum, which is Anahita the Trader, which has the Reap control. Give control of a friendly artifact to your opponent. If you do, they must give you 2 Amber. It's a 2-power creature. Got Rothias the Fierce played there. Barrister Joya, preventing your opponent from reaping. And another Rothias the Fierce. And it looks like David actually has 3 Rothias the Fierce in his deck, which give taunt, or have taunt, sorry. And Hazardous 4, and they are 4/2 Human and Knight creature. But no Amber gain there. David not getting in check on that turn. I don't know if that was the right way to go, but we have Exhume here, putting Raul in check with 6. And he's going to play a creature out of a discard pile. Another Brent Fanatic hits the board, giving Amber to David, putting him in check to 6. But I'm sure that's not how it's going to end here. We have an Unlocked Gateway coming down on the disc turn, destroying all creatures as Omega. And of course, with Soul Snatcher, that's going to give Amber to each player. But then Bren the Fanatics, both dying, are going to steal 6 off of David. David saying he doesn't really have anything to stop him or deal with that. So I think Raul gains 10 Amber off that play. David will get 10 Amber, but then lose 6, so he gets only 4 off that play. So he's not even taking the Amber here. And boom, Raul with Binate Rupture, with Soul Snatcher just bursting in Amber. David not really handling the Soul Snatcher well by fighting. and kind of just giving it to Rula there very easily. And that was a pretty quick one. Thanks to both players for playing on camera. Thanks to everyone who supports us on Patreon. You see here on the screen. If you want to donate to help the channel grow, help support us here, get to more tournaments, get more videos recorded, get more cameras, better lighting, all that kind of stuff. Click the link in the description below and head on over to patreon.com/RobsGamingTable. Either way, thanks a lot for being here watching, and I'll see you in the next one.